Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my Week 7 review of CFL action. My apologies for how late this video is. There was a few factors that came into it. Number one, I didn't realize how early this Hamilton game was on a Wednesday. I thought it was this Friday, so I had less time than I thought I had, and combined that with a lot of just things going on in my life school-wise, which has kept me very busy. But anyways, I'm going to try to run through this decently quickly, and also, even though technically one of those games has already come out, I still have a ton of thoughts on what I thought would have happened in that Hamilton-Ottawa game, so I'm going to try to get that out in the next day. But anyways, I'm going to get into this. We're going to start with the Calgary versus Hamilton game. Alrighty, so this was an interesting one. Hamilton took this closer than I thought it would be. In the sense of I predicted actually Calgary to win this, but I thought if Hamilton were to win this game, it would be a bit more handily. Like, I really thought that if Hamilton was winning this game, it's because Calgary just died. And it wasn't quite like that. Watford would have his first CFL start at QB for the Tiger Cats. And right off the bat, one thing that I noticed is this game had some of the sloppiest special teams I've seen. The amount of kickoff and punt returns that were just dropped, that were just bouncing off their hands, and other teams just getting huge yardage. And this was for both teams, not just one. And I know Hamilton, after the very first kickoff return they actually took the guy off the position and put someone else in there, and then he goes and makes the same mistake. So it was sloppy. It was teams had solid defense but mediocre offense, constant turnovers. There was at least 5 or 6 this game, at least. And it was just a what the hell of a game. It was just strange. But yeah, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to go into about this game other than it was just weird. But that'll bring us to our next game, Toronto versus Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan finally got that win, finally got some touchdowns, as they will win 30 to 16 over the Argonauts. I noticed they had to honestly, Saskatchewan looked pissed. They looked hungry. They had a good offense. They had some pretty strong defense. And one thing I noticed for Toronto was, they looked okay offensively. They just couldn't deal with the Saskatchewan defense. But even more so, it really exposes the problems with their defense and how they were just outmatched. There were some guys going hard, but it wouldn't matter. Guys weren't in sync with each other, and there were some miscommunications, and it really hurt Toronto in this game, and it showed. But overall, this game, it really just looked like Saskatchewan just being pissed off that they had got shit on by their rivals 2 weeks straight. So they wanted something to cheer about, and they definitely gave their fans something to cheer about with a 30 to 16 victory. And that'll bring us to our next game, which was BC versus Montreal. Lucky Whitehead is god. Mike Riley and Lucky Whitehead are absolutely perfect for each other. It's funny, this game I thought Burnham was going to be the star. This was Whitehead's game. The whole time, 75-yard pass. Wow, what a play. And BC really showed how they got some really solid defense when they're all playing. Riley, I thought, was pretty good this game. And one thing that I think BC was very good at in this game was really being a momentum killer for Montreal. Because Montreal would get stuff going, but every time they got something going, it wouldn't get very far before BC would shut that shit down. They did nothing where they really had a fantastic quarter or half that they could build off of, because it was very much separated. I think if Montreal wanted to win this game, they really needed to get in BC's head by just being constantly on them, but they weren't. BC was really resilient, and I think that's the reason that BC came out on top as well. I predicted. So I thought the break week would hurt Montreal. I think it did. Yeah, 27-18 win for the BC Lions. And that'll bring us into our last game, the Bombers versus Elks. This game was okay. Okay in a Bomber sense, because there are definitely some things to be happy about with the offense getting more points than they normally do. Normally Bombers win in these really low scoring games. Their offense looked better, especially at the start of the game. They were running the ball up the throat as I think they should for the start of the game. But the problem with the Bombers is that they need to realize that teams start to catch on to that. But then you have to adjust. You have to start throwing that ball more. And Caleros is able to do it. There's no reason we shouldn't be doing it. But I think if you really look and deeply analyze this game, it's very clear that the Bombers were playing down to the Elks. Because, I think the Elks have talent on their roster, but I don't think and I'm not, you can call me biased or whatever. I think the Bombers are the best team in the league. I think they have the best players in the league. I think they have the best systems in the league, and I think that almost everything about them is top-notch. Almost. We're not including our kicking game there. The kicking game was still bad. It was not good. So the Bombers need to figure that out, whether they keep experimenting with their system. Now, one thing I will say, and this is what I found for Legio, and now Legio didn't play this game, but one thing I found for Legio, he was just missing to one side. So if he really worked on his kicking and trying to compensate for the little slice he has on it, it's a golf term, but we can use it here. I think he could really actually start playing well. I think he needs to just learn how to, just switch up almost. Even if he switched up the angle that he ran at slightly differently at the ball when he goes to kick it, I feel like could really make a big difference. But yeah, I mean the Elks, they had some good moments. I honestly thought this wasn't a bad game for Edmonton. I think that they did as much as they could with what they were given. Now I do think that the Bombers did, like I said, I think they played down to their level a bit. I think and this is a problem that the Bombers have had typically in their game against Calgary, as I was about to say, as the Bombers I think play their best games when they're against the best opponents. Saskatchewan. So yeah, but anyways, so the Bombers would win this game 37-22, and that is my thoughts on all the Week 7 games. So stay tuned for my Week 8 preview, even though it's not really a preview because one of the games already happened, but we're going to ignore that and still do it anyway. And Bombers have this week off, so no game reaction, obviously, for obvious reasons, but they'll be back next the following week, so stay tuned for that. Also, Jets preseason is starting up soon. We're going to be covering preseason as well. Because obviously we've been waiting so long for hockey. It needs to happen. So stay tuned for that, as well as Jets season. We are going to be so excited. And if you've seen any of our reaction compilations, if you haven't, watch them. Honestly, I think that's some of the best content we have on our channel right now. Even just September 11th. So a little over a week ago, we had dropped our reaction comp against Ottawa, so go check that out. Vancouver one came out at least over a month ago, so check that out if you haven't. And before this Sunday, you're going to see I'm going to be releasing the one versus Calgary, and then more will hopefully be coming in the future as quickly as I can. They take a long time to do, around at least 9 to 10 hours per video for those, so... But they're really fun to do, and honestly, I think they turn out great. So, anyways, sorry for the plug, but had to get that out there just so you guys know what's going on when it comes to the channel. So, anyways, that's all I got for this video. Make sure you check out my next one, and I'll see you guys later.